Hello and welcome to Film du Siècle, the film and media channel focused on all things 90s and 2000s. This week, Seb and Olly will be discussing Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Hello, and welcome back to Film du Siècle, the film and media discussion channel where we talk about all things 1990s to 2000s. I'm here with Ollie.
Hello.
Yeah, and I am Seb, and today we're watching the fourth instalment of the Harry Potter franchise, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Who'd have thunk it?
I know, after the first three. Shocking. So,
Yeah.
What are your memories of this instalment?
Downloading it illegally, I'll be honest.
What, LimeWire?
Yeah, when that was a thing.
Oh, LimeWire was a thing.
Gave my computer AIDS for music and for films.
That's the deal. What, Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal? Yeah, I'll have that. Oh, what, I've got malware? Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, it's porn. It's very graphic porn.
One thing I have sketched in my mind, and it was on a lot of songs, was it would start off with someone doing a Bill Clinton impression for some reason, where it says,
My fellow Americans, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did, however, do this thing. I can't remember.
Oh, you do
Was it that one?
it? Yes. That was on so many songs, I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, I'd let it go to my fellow Americans, and they're like, nope, it's that again. Like,
it was a dated reference even then, and the song would usually be straight after it.
Yeah.
God, I remember editing that out so I could play the songs on my MP3 player without every song on shuffle starting with my fellow Americans.
Oh, there was also that one Zelda song that was constantly attributed to System of a Down that would turn up on...
What, was it like a Neil Cicerega sort of thing?
No, I was trying to download the Zelda animated series out of morbid curiosity, and also because I didn't know what I would be subjecting myself to. And there was this song that they attributed to System of a Down, where it's basically like a sort of proto version of Zelda with lyrics that goes, Link, here come to town. I think was Zelda Abridged from like a decade ago. Adam West Lapdog used it as the intro.
Imagine that, like going up System of a Down and saying, I loved your Zelda song. Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't even know who actually wrote the song.
No,
I just know that it was attributed on LimeWire to System of a Down.
The Chimney Sweep song by Linkin Park. Okay, well, here was your 3-minute slice of nostalgia. Back to Harry Potter. What were your memories of Goblet of Fire?
Downloading it illegally, mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this was before I could go to the cinema whenever I wanted, or while I could go to the cinema wherever I wanted. You know what's weird? This pandemic is the longest I've ever gone without wearing shoes.
Bloody hell, Jesus over here.
I mean, because I'm like in full do not leave the house quarantine kind of thing.
I imagine you look like Elle, but if, like, the cake could make him fat.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Well, more like Rick Mail, but like a fat Rick Mail. That's a more accurate portrayal of what I look like right now.
Fair enough. All right. Sorry, you were saying?
I remember a friend of mine who was partially sighted came over, and I downloaded the film because this person couldn't go to the cinema because they wouldn't be able to see a thing. And
so you're an altruistic pirate, not unlike Johnny Depp in the movies.
I mean, I was going to download it illegally eventually anyway. That was just the reason
You just thought you would do it for a morally justifiable reason.
Yeah, I mean, not that I needed one. I'd already... I mean, LimeWire was on constantly on my computer. They never lasted longer than about 8 months before I had to format them.
No, Warner Brothers. This is for the good of the colony.
I can't get arrested for that, can I?
FBI, open up.
Of course, this is all hypothetical and we're joking, and I didn't really do that.
Yeah, sure.
I went to see it in the cinema eventually.
Yeah.
And I think I already had at this point. I actually did screen test the file before I showed it to him, for that exact reason.
That's a relief.
Not that I think he'd have minded.
No.
I mean, most of the kids in my class didn't get to see films until they came out on DVD because parents at the time, I think a lot of kids in my class at least, didn't get to go to the cinema a lot because my mum said it a lot. And when I told them, Mum would say, "Oh, I think we'll wait for the DVD to come out on that one."
Mine said that a lot as well, but I was lucky enough that she could recognise a good cinematic event when it came along. Like, if it was a new Star Wars movie or a Harry Potter movie, we'd definitely go and see that just because of what it is.
She would occasionally relent if I pestered her enough, but generally it was my dad that took me to the cinema to see whatever the big film of the moment was.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first time I saw the film, but it's the first thing I think of when I think, what are my memories of Goblet of Fire? But also the file that I got, obviously it was a cam thing.
Oh, so it was a cinema one where people were getting up in their seats and you would see it.
Yeah, exactly that happened. Like, you know, the bit where Victor Crum's doing his stretches?
Yeah.
That's when it happened. I see someone get up.
Victor Krum appears. I'm aired out.
I'm aired out.
Do you think they did it in protest at the sight of Victor Krum?
I don't know.
I bloody hate Victor Krum, mate! But yeah, for this one, strangely enough, I've read that this is a lot of people's least favourite Harry Potter movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like it. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, I like it.
Mind you, I really like it probably because it's so shonen.
It is. I mean, it is very much
it's
like
the tournament arc.
It is. Yeah, with the contestants and having to complete the challenges and there was a dragon. Yeah, it was good. I must have seen this in the cinema, but...
Also, Harry has a mullet.
Yes, I remember that, because I think a lot of people did at that time. The 2000s were a time of mullets, and I don't know why.
Well, I was growing my hair for the first time at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was like... and everyone was doing it then, really. So I think that just sort of caught on to the cast. And it was the in thing at the time.
It was the thing for 1 year and 1 year only.
Yeah, I was trying to do it first, but Mum kept cutting my hair.
Oh, that's counterintuitive. Yeah. Well done, Mum. Alright, well, let's rekindle those childhood memories and check out this movie, see how it holds up, and we will be back with you after the screening.
You know, as usual, disclaimer, we don't support J.K. Rowling or her positions on things. Don't give her money. Watch this through the secondary market however you can, if you're going to watch it at all.
Yeah.
Usual disclaimer.
Yeah.
Where we stand on these things.
Yeah, and if this upsets you for any reason, question why this upsets you so much.
If this upsets you, you're exactly the kind of person I want to upset, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Take a chill pill and enjoy the review.
If it would upset Glenn Shadix, don't do it.
Exactly. I wonder if chill pills are an actual thing you can buy.
Yeah, I think they're called Xanax in America.
Oh, are they called chill pills here? Is that like an actual
No.
name?
No. Xanax is an anxiety medication. I'm not sure it's legal here.
I always get it mixed up with Xerox in my head.
No, that's a different thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't try swallowing a Xerox.
No, bloody hell. How big would you have to be to do that? See you in a bit. Hello, we're back in the room having watched Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So, Ollie, did you like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire?
I mean, yeah, sort of. I can sort of see more than I did before we watched it why someone wouldn't really like this one. A lot of it's really weird. And, things just seem that there's so many non sequiturs in this film.
There's a lot of non sequiturs and red herrings. Ones I noticed were Karkaroff looking shifty when he was going into the room where the Triwizard Cup is. It's never explained why.
Which is a room he had no reason to be in.
Yeah, and he had no reason to look shifty going in there because as a teacher, I don't think that anybody would want to stop him from going in there.
I mean, maybe he just wanted to look at the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, it's quite a prestigious award, we're led to believe. And there was Ron waving to Cedric like he wants his approval and likes Cedric, even though he was basically indifferent to him before and after that scene for the whole movie. Yeah.
That just never comes up again.
Yeah.
They don't even make a point of all of the scenes they show of Karkaroff being suspicious. They don't even make a point of him not being.
I suppose it's for the benefit of kids that don't know what's going to happen, haven't read the book, making it look like Karkaroff's the villain.
Yeah, but like Harry doesn't even suspect him.
Yeah, I think that if we were led to believe that Karkaroff might be the villain, he'd have a lot more screen time than he does.
Yeah, because like in The Philosopher's Stone, they do the same thing with Snape, sort of, but it's a big part of the story, and the fact that he's not the villain is a twist.
I mean, Snape is a bit more than a background character in that movie. He's a foil for Harry, whereas Karkaroff basically has no interest in Harry either way.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember whether it was elaborated on more in the book. It's been so long since I read that one.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not going to be in the mood to read those for a very long time, I don't think, but...
No, I don't think so.
Maybe he was suspicious of Karkaroff in the books, I don't know. Oh, our favourite moment, the Chinese fireball.
Ooh.
Why is that moment so funny? It's such a weird bit of acting from Roger Lloyd-Pack.
It is.
Wait, what were his directions from the director? We want you to say the Chinese fireball and make a silly noise. Why do you want this? I don't know, just try it. The Chinese fireball. Ooh, how was that? Perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm leaving it in.
Yeah. And the nodding girl staring at the egg. Who is she?
I don't know.
Why was she staring at the egg like that? It was like she was mesmerised by it. Why?
Also, random clapping Death Eater.
Yeah, random clapping Death Eater during the fight between Voldemort and Harry.
Mind you, that's more believable.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we're not cinema sins. We're not here to nitpick.
No, and believe me, this doesn't ruin our enjoyment of the movie. I love all these silly little things.
Yeah, but it's just weird that they're there.
I just think it's really funny, and it actually enhances my enjoyment of this film. It's so random. Why are they being so random? Also, Ron saying piss off, because that was like a big deal at the time. On a rewatch, they have their little spat for some reason. 10 seconds of silence, then Ron turns over in his bed and says, piss off. It wasn't even in response to anything. He just says it.
I mean, they're not even talking at that point. Their conversation was over.
Fuck off. Well, there's no one else in the room. There was 5 minutes ago. Also, it astounds me that since a lot of parents were being so pearl clutchy about Ron saying bloody hell a lot in the other movies, that nobody was upset about Ron saying piss off. At this point, I guess in the mid-2000s, parents had finally become desensitised to mild swearing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's just funny how they were so upset about the one thing and not at all upset about something that was a bit worse.
I don't at all remember parents being upset about the piss off.
No! And you think they would be?
I don't know that they weren't, I just don't remember it.
Yeah. But it was sort of like talk that was going on at the time, I don't know.
One thing that I find particularly weird is the one in the prefect's bathroom.
Well, yeah.
Where Harry gets what's a good word to use here?
Molested?
Well, she doesn't actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't molest someone if you're a ghost, can you?
But like he's very aggressively
sexually harassed.
Come on to by Moaning Myrtle. I was like
a ghost sexually harasses Harry Potter for some reason.
How does that even work for a ghost?
I don't know. I think they're stuck in the sort of frame of mind that they were in when they died, which is why St. Nicholas is very matter-of-fact. The Bloody Baron seems to be obsessed with blood, and Moaning Myrtle is a horny teenage girl who's very precious about people making fun of her.
It's certainly an interesting theory.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Although, now that I am reasonably sure it's the same person, whenever I see Moaning Myrtle, I want her to go, hey!
It's Babu Frick, our oldest friend. I love it. There were less serious moments in this one. And when I say that, I don't mean like it was a less dark movie, because it was darker than the last one even.
Yeah.
I'm saying that Sirius Black was in it a lot less. I mean, he's basically Bin Laden in the caves in this one, for all intents and purposes. But I seem to remember him being in the book more, like there were more correspondence between him and Harry.
Yeah. I think he was in a cave, like you said, and Harry went to visit him at one point in the book. I remember that, I think.
Could be a Mandela effect, but I know that they communicated more at the very least, and they only really have that one interaction.
I seem to remember a passage in the book where he throws something into a corner next to a pile of yellowing Daily Prophets.
Oh, what, like to feed him or something?
No. Sirius throws something to a corner which Harry notes has a pile of Daily Prophet papers that are old and yellowing.
Ah. And that's how he's getting his news, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, in summary, you liked the movie?
Yeah, I like the movie. It's a bit weirder than I remember.
It's weirder than I remember, but in some respects it's better than I remember. There are some really good moments, like the great score at the part where they grab onto the boot. That was a really well-shot scene, and it was really well scored. It sounded really epic, and the use of voiceover, sound design, and soundtrack in this one is particularly good. Even compared to the rest, I'd say. Like the transition from the egg to the common room when Harry beats the dragon and he gets the egg.
Yeah, that is a great egg transition.
Yeah, I love my egg transitions. There's not enough egg transitions in cinema.
No.
Did they do one for the Angry Birds movie? You'd think that'd be the perfect opportunity.
Maybe that's why the, nodding girl is staring at the egg. I think she's hoping to go back to the stadium.
What?
Well, I think she's hoping if she stares at the egg for long enough, she'll transition to somewhere else.
Collect the egg.
Collect the egg.
I just love Roger Lloyd Pack. Oh, I miss him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's lovely. Ollie, how well did the film achieve its goals? What were they?
I mean, it's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but a film. It does a pretty good job of that.
Well observed.
I mean, I don't like all the Karkaroff red herrings.
No, that's kind of dumb.
It is the first appearance and last appearance in the film of Rita Skeeter.
Was she not in the later ones?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I seem to remember there being some sort of subplots. Maybe it was in the books about them exposing her because she transforms into a beetle illegally to get gossip.
Didn't they imprison her or something, or am I imagining that?
I don't know, but it seems like something that J.K. Rowling would do, writing something about imprisoning journalists.
Oh, God. It does.
Yeah, I mean, not that this is like a favourable journalist character with any kind of integrity, but still.
No, like a tabloid person. I remember in the books reading that, the interview she had with Harry, the writings on it are so inaccurate that I wondered why she bothered sitting down for the interview at all.
Well, it was so that she said that she did interview him, and I suppose that's quite a good commentary on what a lot of newspapers, well, at the time, and, well, probably still to some extent today are like. I mean, with the whole Piers Morgan phone hacking scandal and all that.
Yeah.
Sorry we keep talking about J.K. Rowling and Piers Morgan so much. We hope we're not putting you off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Back to the actual film, based on the books that were written by J.K. Simmons.
Yes, Spider-Man! What this film did achieve was keeping the train chugging, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when it's a long-haul series where you've got 8 movies to anticipate and, of course, sit through, you're at the halfway point now. You've got to keep the interest. This is sort of after the Harry Potter craze died out. I think people are obsessed with stuff like Return of the King at this point. There was a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh! Things to grab, the young kids' attention. And people were still flocking, well, not flocking to the extent of the first 2, but flocking to see these movies in a way that gave Warner Brothers huge enough profits to realise it might be a good idea to finish this franchise of movies.
I think Return of the King was the year before this.
Yeah.
Return of the King was 2003. When was this?
Okay, this came out in 2005.
Ah, right. I see. What was big around 2005?
I think the insurgency in Iraq.
Well, yeah, that was a big talking point, but when I was I didn't care about that in 2005, and I was 14.
I thought you were going to say, and I was there.
No.
No. Also, it introduces some new characters and does a good job of endearing them to us. Brendan Gleeson was very good in this.
Who? Sorry?
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who played Mad-Eye Moody. And I instantly liked Mad-Eye Moody in the books just because when I was reading the books, I remember someone saying, "Oh, have you got to Goblet of Fire?" I was like, "No, not yet." And saying, "Oh, Mad-Eye Moody's really good." And I was like, "Okay, I'm looking forward to this." So I heard good things before I was introduced to the character.
Right.
And I do find it ironic that perhaps the most competent and useful Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher they've ever had was a Death Eater in disguise.
I mean, he did perform illegal curses on them.
Well, not on the kids, though, but conversely...
in the book he did.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
There was a scene, I think, where he tests their resistance to the Imperious Curse.
If true, that is bang out of order.
Yeah, but it was still bad to perform them in front of them.
But on the other hand, they learned about the spells through that, and knowing is half the battle.
I mean, it is, still. And he turned Malfoy into a ferret.
Okay, yeah, well, that's his redeeming factor, isn't it?
And he goes, "We never use transfiguration as a punishment. Surely Dumbledore told you that." Funnily enough, I doubt it would have come up.
And here's another thing. Never use transfiguration as a punishment.
Yeah, if that's something Dumbledore has to specifically mention, then that must mean it's something that occurs to teachers a lot.
I like that.
And that they have in the past often got in trouble for doing. If a rule is there specifically, it means it keeps getting broken.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of rules, it's just not the done thing, is it?
No.
Also, he put one boy down the underwear of another boy.
Yeah, he did.
That is very weird.
Yeah, the implications of that are weird to think about.
Well, the implications of that are that we saw Malfoy touch Crabbe's penis.
Yes, they are.
This happened in a movie that we watched.
Yes, it did.
We're still talking about what the film achieves.
Yeah, the scene where Voldemort comes back is really well done.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a scary scene, and of course we see the most competent Death Eater in history, played by Timothy Spall again.
Read only competent Death Eater. Yeah. And that's the thing. Why are they called Death Eaters? The original name...
Such a dumb name.
I've heard, I'm not entirely sure, the original name was the Knights of Walpurgis.
I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know, but I've been told that the original name was the Knights of Walpurgis, which, if true, is way better. Death Eaters sounds like a gang on the playground.
Yeah, it's like someone who'd be competing with the Jets and whatever the gangs.
Yeah, I don't know, the Crisp Punchers. I don't know.
The Crisp Punchers. What, is this like some sort of Gary Lineker hate society?
They used to go around into petrol stations and punch the Salt and Lineker crisps.
Just on the off chance that Gary Lineker might go in to nick them. I have a theory that it's all the people who he stole crisps off over the years who have got together to fight back. Right, I'm fed up of him nicking my crisps. Last week there was this little girl, right? She had this packet of crisps and he nicked it off her and stole the £5 prize inside. It's not right.
Nobody gets this joke.
We should do another advert special at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the film achieved its goals. It introduced several new characters. It introduced, our main villain for the rest of the franchise in the form of Ralph Fiennes. I think this is probably the scariest he was in these movies.
Yeah, after that he just becomes kind of goofy.
He becomes goofy in camp. I think they realise that the technology's not quite there to make him look scary enough for what they wanted, so they may as well do what they did with Palpatine and just lean in on the camp.
Yeah, you were saying during the film he looks like a rugby dad.
He does. I call him Rugby Dad Voldemort because in some shots he looks really creepy because of how he's lit, and in others he just looks like your dad's mate up at the rugby who will talk to you about, like, he'll give you a book about tanks for Christmas, and he'll pat you on the head and give you a packet of, like, crisps, and he'll have a pint with your dad at the rugby club.
Yeah, and he's got a really weird nickname, like, I don't know, Mouse or something.
Yeah, because he likes the mouse tank.
Or Mousy.
Mousy, yeah. Because he used to have mousy hair, but now he's bald. You can picture this man, can't you? Should we refer to him as Rugby Dad from now on?
Why not?
Yeah, okay. But yeah, this movie did a good job. It kept the Potter train chugging along. It introduced Brendan Gleeson to us. And it introduced Rugby Dad.
Yeah, it was a good adaptation of Goblet of Fire, all told.
It kept what we needed. I would have liked to have seen more of Sirius, but I don't know how it would have fit in with the flow and the plot.
I mean, you could have cut out all the Karkaroff red herrings for one scene with it.
Yeah, because I don't think it had anyone fooled.
No. It was so obviously him that it obviously wasn't him.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't introduce this non-sequitur character and have him serve a serious point in the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, even Roger Lloyd Pack has more screen time in this movie.
Yeah. Although, the bit in the pensive...
Yeah.
Where he outs Barty Crouch Jr. Well, he goes, Barty Crouch, and then everyone gasps. And he doesn't say anything, does Barty Crouch. And then he goes, Junior.
I love that! Yeah. I like how he looked shot like, it was me?
Hang on, am I? Hang on, let me think. Am I evil, or... Oh, wait, no.
He just looks so confused. So it
and
wasn't
then
me.
Crouch Jr. Runs away and snarls angrily.
That's a funny thing. If he sat down and said, "No, that's ridiculous. Of course, I'm not a Death Eater," then that would have been that. And
then when Harry asks what happened to him, Dumbledore says he went to Azkaban. Barty didn't want to do it, but the evidence was overwhelming. Well, it wouldn't have been.
No, the only evidence they had was the word of this one man and him running away from the scene looking sus.
Word of this one man who was desperate to buy his way out of Azkaban. He probably would have said any name if he thought it could have got him out.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is so shit at his job, but he's also very competent. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, all he had to do was sit down.
Yeah. I mean, they probably would have administered Veritaserum around the Ministry for questioning at one point.
Also, couldn't they have just looked up his sleeve?
I mean, yeah, they could have. You know what? At that point, if I were Minister for Magic, I would have made 4 army inspections mandatory every day.
Yeah, like, roll up your sleeve. Well, why would I do that?
Or, I don't know, outlaw long-sleeved clothing in the workplace.
Yeah. Could you imagine that, like Oscar Isaacs in a tank top?
Oscar Isaacs?
Oh, not Oscar Isaacs. Oh, what's his name? Isaac Oscar. No, not Isaac. What the fuck am I talking about? Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, it's Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Jason Isaacs in a tank top.
Well, if you've got that image in your head, then you've got me to thank for that.
I'm looking forward to that edit that I'm sure you're going to do.
Ollie, did the movie exceed your expectations?
Well, it did in weirdness. Like, it's basically what I remember. Because it's one of those that I've seen more.
Silly but good.
Yeah. I've watched this one quite a bit more than the others.
Yeah, I did as well. I think it was just because the DVD...
It was on TV a lot.
Yeah, and the DVD was available to me, and I had a portable DVD player, and it was like one of my 6 I'd take with me.
I mean, like, it's a very watchable one on TV. I think that was why it was on TV a lot. It's got a lot of good visuals. The tournament is, like, an instantly understandable setting. You don't really need to be invested in the world to get what's going on.
Although I like how they make a big deal about talking about how dangerous the tournament is, and that's why they stopped doing it. It's like, people die in this tournament. They're under no obligation to bring it back, yet they do.
Yeah. And open it up to anyone 17 and up.
Yeah,
The wizarding world apparently counts as coming of age, so it makes sense.
We stopped public executions because we thought it was barbaric, but now we've started doing them again. I don't see how this could go wrong.
Again, that's something that's more elaborated on in the book. There are safeguards in the book so that, say, Ron and Fleur's sister weren't actually in any danger.
Yeah, and I don't think they were in the movie.
No, they left that out in the movie. The danger was real.
I mean, they wouldn't have sent children to the...
I think that was a good call, because if you knew that everything was safe, it kind of removes the stakes from the last round. But then, even if you thought it was safe, and then it suddenly wasn't, because the cop was a portkey that takes them to... Oh, and that's another thing. If Harry hadn't bailed Cedric out of that thorny bush thing, he'd still be alive.
He literally killed him with kindness.
Yeah. Or with sportsmanship.
Yeah. Sportsmanship for the win. Oh, Cedric, you're dead now.
Mind you, hindsight is 20/20, isn't it?
The movie did exceed my expectations. It was about as good as I remember it being, but there were a lot of moments which were particularly good that I either forgot about or didn't realise were in this one.
Really? Like what?
Well, it was general stuff like the sound design and the way that complemented the film. For example, the Quidditch scene, everything building up to it. The portkey. I'm still salty that we didn't get to watch the Quidditch match, but
yeah.
I mean, it's not really important to the plot. What's important is that they are at the match when the Death Eaters attack.
Yeah.
But it still would have been nice to see a few minutes of it. I mean, if they can give us 20 minutes for a pod race and the Phantom Menace, then they could maybe not be so stingy with the Quidditch in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good chance to introduce Victor Krum.
Yeah. Oh, we have this running joke about Victor Krum because Ollie was telling us earlier in the video about how this one person got up on his pirate copy when Victor Krum was walking along the beach, and I jokingly suggested it's because they hated Victor Krum. And now, every time we see Victor Krum, on screen, we get unaccountably angry and scream about it.
Victor fucking Krum!
Fucking Victor Krum, ruining this fucking movie!
Right, I'm head out.
What an inconsequential character to get angry at.
Yeah. Oh.
Also, in my headcanon, the Flying Dutchman boat that they have didn't actually submerge at the end, it sank, and Victor Krum drowned to death, and that's why the movie's good, because it ends with Victor Krum dying, who we hate.
Is that why you didn't show up for the Battle of Hogwarts?
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird, because Durmstrang and Beauxbatons, when Voldemort takes over the UK, they're like, I sleep. And then, when there's a tournament going on at Hogwarts, they're like, real shit.
Yeah. I mean, surely Voldemort is everyone's problem.
And can we talk about what a weird mode of transportation that boat is for a Bulgarian school?
Was it a Bulgarian school? Didn't you Google it and it was Russian?
Yeah, but I suppose it depends on where in Russia, but I thought it was Bulgarian, which made me think, so what, they're going to go through the Black Sea, through the Bosporus Straits, through all the Mediterranean, up through the Irish Sea to get to the school when they could use different modes of transportation.
The flying carriage pulled by Pegasi is at least on brand for the school.
Is that the plural?
I think so.
Pegasus. Okay, I'll
Pegasus,
find out.
Pegasi, it seems like it would be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Pegasuses, so... Yeah, we'll say Pegasi. I like the sound of Pegasus, so we'll keep it as that. I don't know, maybe it is in Russia, and maybe they came from Murmansk or from St. Petersburg. Who's to say, really? Who's to say? Did the movie exceed my expectations? Yes. Ollie, is there an element in the film that particularly appeals?
I like how, well, I've said before, I like how shonen anime is that, like, I like tournament arcs in shonen anime. I find them really fun. So, and this makes me think of that.
I mean, the tune-in exam is the best part of all of Naruto, including Shippuden.
Yeah, well, it has my favourite fight in it, which is Rock Lee versus Gaara.
Our mutual favourite fight. That's just the most emotional, the best fight. It might not be the most impressive looking visually, because Shippuden goes crazy with that.
I mean, sometimes. I mean, it brings me to tears to this day.
I know,
well,
it's such
I don't know, I haven't seen it in at least a year, but it probably
You're right.
will.
It is such an emotional scene, and it's done really well. I mean, this is where the boys cried. Yeah, elements of this film that particularly appealed. I would say, well, I've talked about the sound design quite a lot, but I really appreciate how the sounds and the music complement each other. Like, it's small things.
The presentation is really good. It's very visually impressive. It's so...
Do you remember that moment where Hermione gives Snape the book and then it makes a little whoop sound when he moves the book?
Yeah.
It's small things like that I like in this.
A bit that doesn't appeal to me is that bloody song at the ball. You know, the lazy...
That is the most cringe, stupid thing in the whole movie. I hate it.
No lyricist would write that.
No, that is the low point.
I'm not a lyricist, but I'm pretty sure no lyricist would write that.
The thing is, it's sort of the Ready Player One style of referencing, where they just say, oh, look, here's this thing you know. Yeah. Without there being any wider context or meaning.
There was a parody block, I think, on YouTube called Animation Domination High Def, or ADHD, and they had this video called Ultimate Anime Hero, and it's just a song that's reference after reference after reference. And
you mean like that Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny song?
I mean, it's like that, but like not as coherent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll show it to you after we're done recording.
Okay, alright. Yeah, join in with fun. Yeah, that song has such stupid lyrics. It winds me up. I think at one point he also sings, I don't want to feel like piss. So it's weird that they got two
That's
P-bombs
probably
in this
not
movie.
what he sings, but it sounds like that.
Yeah.
It's like when it sounds like Victor Krum screams Wolverine in the maze.
What was up with that? Because, like, he's under the Imperius Curse and he attacks Cedric. And it sounds like he shouts, Wolverine!
Yeah. I don't know what he shouts. We never...
It could be something in Bulgarian. We'll give them the... I mean, the actor who plays him is actually Bulgarian in real life, which for some reason astonishes me, knowing that they can be a bit insensitive with casting in a lot of these films.
Yeah.
They didn't Rusev him and make up his nationality for no reason.
Oh. So
that didn't happen. What particularly appeals? I'm going to say, and you might disagree with me on this, the inter-character drama, for the most part. I'm not a fan of the whole spat between Ron and Harry. Why do I struggle to remember the titular character's name? Yeah,
I was saying to you earlier, I don't think that's how two 14-year-old boys would react to that.
It's very Mean Girls. None of these people are Gretchen Wiener, and none of them are Lindsay Lohan.
And also, like, Ron has no reason to not believe that Harry didn't put his name in the goblet.
I mean, we get this whole thing that, well, comes to a head in the last one, where he feels insecure about Harry being more famous and well-liked and popular than him. But it just doesn't feel like enough to cause a rift between them at this point.
And also, teenage boys as I knew them would probably just have a punch-up and then be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, oh, I'm not talking to him because he entered a tournament that he wasn't eligible for and won.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps I just grew up around the wrong teenage boys, but I didn't find that reaction believable at all.
Yeah, it wasn't venomous and vicious on a psychological level. It was more, I'm going to beat you up because I'm stronger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that, but I do like the character moments, particularly between Harry and Hermione. I mean, their friendship's really good in this one. I like how Harry's basically Hermione's agony aunt, and they talk about Victor Krum and things like that. Again, for some reason, Ginny doesn't do much in this one, even though she becomes more and more important with each one. I did really like Neville in this, though.
That was true in the books as well, though. Ginny just sort of faded into the background for a couple of years, and then suddenly Harry fancied her.
Yeah, she sort of blossomed around the time of Order of the Phoenix, and then she became important and a fan favourite. But again, they don't really capitalise on that in the movies, I don't think. But I did like what they did with Neville in this one, because I like how enthusiastic he was about his hobbies and his interests and ballroom dancing. I like that he took to it.
Neville's the only character in Harry Potter that I'd actually want to be friends with, barring maybe Luna Lovegood.
Yeah, those two are gold. The rest I probably wouldn't be that interested in. Also, there was more of Tom Felton eyeing up Harry Potter in this one.
Yeah. I mean, he's thirsty.
Yeah, I mean, God, you can just feel the sexual tension between the two, can't you?
Yep.
I mean, I do think it's more on Tom Felton's as Malfoy's side than Harry's. But just look at the way he looks at him. If a girl was looking at me like that, I'd fancy my chances. Not gonna lie.
I mean, he's very tsundere.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, bloody hell. So, how does the film hold up today?
Reasonably. I mean,
get rid of the song, get rid of the Mean Girls drama, and then we've got almost a perfect movie, I'd say.
The CGI doesn't age too badly. Like, it's not like Chamber of Secrets.
The dragon looked good. I mean, it was HBO quality dragon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. I've seen more recent dragons that don't look quite as impressive. And that's the big spectacle of it, because there's a really impressive set piece of the giant Quidditch World Cup tournament that they don't utilise at all.
Yeah.
You literally see them climbing up some steps to get to their seats, standing at the stand, and that's about it.
And, that stadium sort of into the ground, as it were, didn't it?
Yeah, and I thought that was really good design, because that looked like a pastiche of a real-life sports stadium, but done in a Wizarding World style. And I like it when they do that in these movies.
Also the TARDIS tent.
Oh yeah, that was good. I mean, why didn't they take that one when they were on the run later?
Yeah, it would have come in handy, wouldn't it?
I mean, they did get a big tent, but I don't think they got that big a tent.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it was in use. Maybe someone else had more urgent need of it than the 3 people trying to save the world.
Maybe.
It's quite possible. Maybe Fleur Delacour needed it for her honeymoon with General Hux. You never know. Actually, speaking of Star Wars, it would be a bit like if they did the pod race scene in The Phantom Menace. You see the pod racer start up and go off, and then you cut to them celebrating Anakin having won it.
No, it just fades to white when Anakin goes, and then Watto's handing people money and goes, "You swindled me! You knew the boy was going to do it."
The Johnson cut. The Olly Johnson cut.
Yeah, I mean, if I were going to do that similar thing, that's how I would do it.
Brilliant.
But I wouldn't, because I like the pod racing scene. And I think we should have had a similar thing here, to actually showcase Victor Krum's skills, because we don't actually see anyone Harry do anything in the tournament.
We just have Ron swooning over him, and that's it. We just take their word for it that he's good.
Yeah.
So it's a solid part of the franchise. I don't know why it would be your least favourite. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near my favourite. I mean, you've got Rugby Dad. He's well introduced in this. And I think he's probably the best choice for Voldemort, to be honest with you. I can't imagine anyone else pulling it off better, despite the goofiness.
I think Order of the Phoenix might be my least favourite.
Well, we're going to be watching that, at the end of the year, so...
Yeah, it's next, isn't it?
Reevaluate that at the time, yeah. Well, next in the Harry Potters. We're going to be doing some Christmas movies from now on.
Yep, for a bit.
Yeah, so, finally, was the film received appropriately at the time, Ollie?
I think it was. I remember it being very popular. I can't remember, but I think my mum might have let me skive off school to see it once.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because she also wanted to see it. And it just so happened...
I like how it was a selfish motivation from her part. It wasn't her being a cool mom. It was just her wanting to see it and not wanting to go alone because you feel like a saddo. That's brilliant.
Well, she knew I wanted to go and see it anyway. And it's like I've mentioned before on this channel, I did not like Wednesdays.
Well, it's very much like how Mondays are for Garfield.
It was the timetable. What
did you have on Wednesdays?
Right, I remember it being. There were 2 science lessons separated by a geography one, and one of them was physics, and one of them was biology. I can't remember the order. And then design technology, which is textiles and stuff.
Did it have the boring teacher? I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to dox.
Depending on your point of view, I suppose I can understand why you'd call him that.
Mostly because he had such a monotone voice.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't focus in school at all. I think I actually might have ADHD or something, but...
It would explain so much, because I have conversations with you and you get bored of them halfway through.
Well, I'm trying to think... I don't get bored of my own sentence. I'm trying to think of the best way to say what I'm thinking. And then you don't wait for me.
You occasionally do, though. Well, I haven't all day.
I mean, that's fair.
Sorry, this is a non sequitur.
But yeah, it is, which makes it fitting for a Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't a nodding girl watching me for some reason. Although this movie is sorely missing the exposition kid from the last movie.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, that emotional, really well done scene where Harry returns with the body of Cedric Diggory and everybody's celebrating in euphoria, and then one by one people begin to realise in horror what has happened. You get everybody's very emotional, distraught responses, particularly the dad. I think he was incredible in this one when he sees his son's body. That reaction is perfect. It was a bit hard to watch because I felt like I was intruding on a family's tragic moment. But all of that, keep all of that in mind. The only thing that could have made that brilliant, well-made scene better is if you had the exposition kid stand up and say, "Oh my god, he has been killed by the Dark Lord, he has returned, and now Cedric Diggory is deceased."
Oh.
That way, we, as the audience who are idiots and have no idea what's going on, will know what has just happened.
Oh.
It's like trying to catch smoke. Like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands.
Oh.
We love the exposition kid. Him and Colin Creevey are the MVPs of this franchise.
Quite.
Yeah, in summary.
Yeah, in summary, it's pretty good. I remember liking it. I still like it, though I understand why some might not. There's a lot of weirdness, even for Harry Potter.
Also, this movie gave us crackhead Doctor Who.
Yeah, crackhead Doctor Who is a must.
I mean, he does basically look like 10. It was 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like 10 if he got really dirty and had one hell of a bender.
Well, he's mad at the Weasleys for stealing his TARDIS and changing its shape so it looks like a tent.
Yeah.
They don't even know it can travel through time. They just think it's a handy house.
I love it. They would, wouldn't they?
Yeah. The Weasleys are the fucking worst.
They are. But they're bad because they're oblivious at how bad they are, despite being nice.
Yeah.
You can be nice and be terrible at the same time. It's very much possible.
It is.
It's sort of like your lovely aunt who buys you presents at Christmas and is really friendly with everyone, but then they share conspiracy theories about injections on the internet.
Immigrants putting cancer in light bulbs.
Yeah, bloody hell, we better get some candles in here.
That's not a thing I saw shared on Facebook. It's just random buzzwords I strung together. Which is all most of them are, really.
Yeah, I would have believed it. Yeah, in summary, I thought this one was pretty good. It has a lot of weird moments. Some people might not like that, but for me, it was enjoyable because it was a laugh pointing out all these hilarious things with a friend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that as a win. Sadly, we only get we get 2 Jason Isaacs scenes. Really good in this again, but I don't know, I like him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Oh, it's outside our remit, but watch The Death of Stalin. He is really good in that.
Okay.
So, next week, we're going to be watching Home Alone.
Yeah.
So, from one Chris Columbus franchise to another.
Well, it hasn't been a Chris Columbus franchise for 2 years already.
Well, no. Besides which, we haven't talked about how well this movie did do, and we usually do.
Yeah, how well did it do?
You're going to be surprised by this. It actually made $896.4 million at the box office. It had the same budget as the previous movie.
Which is?
And made $150 million.
Yeah.
And it made $100 million more than the last one did. So it actually broke that law of diminishing returns that we've talked about.
Oh, wow.
For one reason or another. Yeah,
8 bicentennial men.
Oh, nearly 9, Ollie. Yeah, this one actually broke that trend. So a lot of people must have seen something in it.
Yeah, I would.
And keep in mind, this was at the time where the craze was beginning to calm down a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
So it did very well to go against the grain. I'm pretty pleased about that. I
cannot remember whether or not I saw it more than once at the cinema. I must have.
I remember seeing Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince a bunch of times because there were different people who I was friends with who wanted to see it. And it was at the time where I was at the age where I was beginning to get some disposable income, so I was starting to go to the cinema more with friends.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the critics' consensus. The main characters are maturing, and the filmmakers are likewise improving on their craft. Vibrant special effects and short performances add up to what is the most complex yet of the Harry Potter films. They give it a fresh of 88% and an audience score of 74%, which maybe feels a bit generous, but I think it's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I would be very happy with that. And as we said, it did well financially, so I guess it isn't one of the less popular ones like I originally thought.
No, I guess not.
Consider me corrected. Alright, well, we look forward to seeing you next week with Home Alone.
Alright, see you next week. Subscribe, share.
Yeah, do all that. They weren't addressing Cher the singer. We were saying that you should share the video.
Although if Cher is watching this and likes what she's seeing, I would I'd appreciate the share because the platform would be tremendous.
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't need Sunny if you could get Cher. Alright, see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.